And welcome back, guys, to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. In the last part, we lost terribly at a game of Risk, and now we're looking for the library, because Hisao's got a reading addiction that he needs to fix. He needs his fix. But we have come to a door that may or may not be the library, so let's get going. At the very least, it means that someone is inside, and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. Oh, wow. This is not what I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sights of the solitary figure taking center stage in an otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. "Hello there. May I help you?" Staring directly in front of herself, the movement of her lips seemed to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she is being separate. She's being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even amongst the foreigners I've met, she's strictly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kinda lost." She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. "Care to take a seat?" Unexpected, considering I am intruding upon her. Thanks? I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that the slightest cloudiness in her eyes means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. "I take it you're the new student to Yamaku?" Yes. I just transferred in yesterday." I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. "I'm Lily Satao. Pleased to meet you." Hisao Nakai." Gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. "Would you care for a drink?" "Sure." Like, man, this guy, Hisao's completely infatuated. This is crazy. He's just sort of like, yeah, okay. I mean, never bite the hand that feeds, right? But it's just sort of like, you had a purpose before, but now that, a pretty lady's in front of you, you're just like, I might as well just sit down. You know what? I'll be honest. I'd probably do the exact same thing. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formalities and the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. I brush here or brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offering preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring her water into the teacup as she nods. A small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicates it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it's hard to choke down. Thanks, Hisao. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes? Correct. I am in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi. Is that a reference? No, that's not. I could make the obvious. Is that a JoJo reference? But no. This is like Karate Kid reference. Yeah, I love the Karate Kid. Both of them, actually. The remake, which is really Kung Fu Kid, if we're gonna be honest, but I also quite like the original. And is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure, sorry. I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. Category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? Oh my god, did he really just do that? Do you, come here often? I'm lonely and pathetic. I mean, okay, he's in high school, whatever. It's not the highest brow thing that you could start to break the ice from, but oh well, regardless of all that. Thinking on it, this might have been her version of a place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duty as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. We have come into 2 class reps already. What is the likelihood of that? I always like to put this sense of realism on visual novels, and I know it's silly. I know it's totally silly because they're not. They don't completely accurately portray things that happen in real life. Not to say that this isn't plausible, it's just at the same time that, like, the coincidences are getting just a little too much, in a sense, right? Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view on the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The most popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the basketball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There's also numerous small ones too, though, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. Aw. Holy crap! I mean, yeah, we spent a long time playing Risk, but, like, now it's, like, evening. As I look over the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinct orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh, time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise to her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hisao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly move to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was a pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask you for more help. I should be able to find it, all right. Well, unless my navigation skills fail me. This is a trope. This is an anime trope that happens quite a lot. Yeah, not very good at directions. Just gonna throw that out there. Anime characters aren't usually really that good at them. So we're gonna find out if he is. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. Oh, there we go. At least he acknowledged it. I really like how they kept that sentence separate. That was great. Thanks, game. Thank you for being meta-aware. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there. In any case, I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that has been slipped into the hand of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily looks much thinner and longer. This must be for support, whereas in Lily's is for navigation. Together, we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slows to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor, rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It's easily dwarfed by my school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students. There should be doesn't. There doesn't seem to be a lot of students here. Yeah, they don't seem like, yeah. It sounds very slangish. I don't know. Maybe it's just my learning. Just my learning's coming out as I butcher that. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Oh. The Origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you all right? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reserve Lily's apology, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right. They finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to chance the topic, I'm sure, she noticed me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot where she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me. Yuko, this is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget it. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lee's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How is it any responsibility at all? I don't get. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But, so there's a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work, at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Imaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that are here. Is it only that? How come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve them all. It's so troublesome, and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. Very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books, if it's all right with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. Man, it's been a long time since I've been to a library proper. Back in my school days, I used to always go to the library. It was like a really nice, calm place to go. I don't want to say that I was a loner kid, but not until I reached high school did I ever really have like sort of a group of friends that I hung out with at lunch. Most of the time I spent it in the library just like this, so I can totally relate to that feeling of a sort of wonderment of being in the library. There we go. Ambling down the narrow aisles to study the spines. Okay, yes, I already read that. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there's a large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is. A library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily and snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little farther, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of several beanbags. And we will find out who that recognizable person is next time. So take care, guys. Stay frosty, and I'll see you tomorrow.